Welcome to Kung Fu Anime number 2. This is my final video for tonight. The anthology will continue, but this video is about Yin Yang Theory in martial arts. What that simply means is what martial arts are best to combat other martial arts. Alright, so here's where things get funky. Alright, let me explain that because a lot of you who are martial artists are either going to agree with me highly or disagree with me highly, and that's fine, especially if you haven't went out and tested this shit. So here's my theory at its best. The best way to combat Kung Fu is with more Kung Fu. And the reason why I say that is because Kung Fu is like the original OG, and you have more than one style of Kung Fu. Because you have Wushu, which is the official name. You have Gung Fu, which is also the official name. So if you're fighting someone who is doing Wushu, which involves a lot of aerial shit, I advise you to go with them with a crane, a snake, or the dragon. Why did I name those things? Because a lot of those have aerial attacks in it as well. Same thing with praying mantis. The problem with that is the animal styles don't incorporate weapons, where Wushu and Gung Fu and even Wing Chun does incorporate weapons. Now, if you want to go all out and it's Wushu versus Wushu, y'all gonna have a fun time. But if you don't know Wushu and you only know Wing Chun, well, you got a fighting chance. Especially because Wing Chun also incorporates weapons. Now, let's split countries. Let's go to Jamaica for capoeira or Brazil, and we go to China for Drunken Master. You can combat somebody with Drunken Master versus capoeira because capoeira has the Jinga, Drunken Master has the Sway. It's basically the same thing, only the Jinga, you lean further in, and the Sway, you go from side to side. Now, the Jinga, you also go from side to side, but you go forward to back as well as side to side. Drunken Master, you just have your Sway, which is easier to combat when they start doing all that aerial shit. Alright? But you can also use Shaolin Kung Fu, Wushu, as well as Wing Chun, and some Gung Fu against capoeira. Here's the thing that you need to know about martial arts. Most of the kicks, no matter what martial arts style is, it is all relative. So let's go Kempo versus Taekwondo. So here you have a system of kicks. Taekwondo, everything snaps and pops out. Kempo, not so much. However, Kempo's every strike is a block, every block is a strike theory. Works against Taekwondo very well because Taekwondo focuses on kicks and your holding position. Alright? Now here's the thing about that holding position that is a downfall. I learned this when I took Taekwondo because everything that you snap out and pop and try to hold it there, no one's going to stand there and let that shit happen. Because if you're doing Taekwondo and you go watch some Taekwondo videos, you'll understand what I'm talking about. These kicks where you're popping up and it's all controlled and everything, because Taekwondo is definitely about controlled kicks. Taekwondo is about some super control. But my body doesn't work like that. It never worked like that when I was taking Taekwondo. It didn't work like that when Taekwondo became Naharate. It didn't work. If I'm going to kick you, I'm going to put my foot back down as fast as I fucking can. We're in Taekwondo class, when people were throwing sparring kicks, and they would, put their foot up here and they would clack, clack, do the double. While they're up here, it's like double side, whatever. It's basically a front kick, and you kick and come back, and then you put down. God damn it. Your legs here, boom, boom, and then it's like a paintbrush, and then you come down. All right, and then you have the ones where, as most Taekwondo people do it because they're showing off. So it's down, right, left, up, right, left, and then up, right, left. Okay, that's great for tournaments. That's great for demonstrations. It's not going to be able to be used in a fight unless you're fighting someone who has no martial arts background at all. Because you can scare them off, and that'll pretty much stop the fight. You're like, doom, 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 and then hold it in the guy's face. 9 times out of 10, if the guy has no martial arts skills, I'm out. Here's reality. you might come across that motherfucker that just doesn't give a shit. No. I've said this in a video I made a couple of days ago. I don't know if I posted it, so I'm going to say it again. Everyone knows martial arts. You know it from birth. You just don't know that you know it. You go to these schools to unlock your potential and open doors. And somewhere along the line, you earn these things that are part of the uniform that gives you a rank. Now, I say that because I don't have a black belt, but I have beaten black belts. Does that make me a better fighter? Does that make me a better martial artist? Or does that make them a bad black belt? It just makes it is what it is. Because here's the thing. The reason why I won was because I went beyond what they teach you in school. The guy that I sparred was a great black belt. The reason why I won is because he never read a comic book. I have read comic books. I didn't think that the shit would work, but I won about losing. So I ran up the wall and jumped and did a tornado kick at him. When he saw that, he realized some shit. They didn't teach him that in school. Guess what? They didn't teach me that shit in school either. I got it from a fucking comic book. And the shit worked. So when we first got to sparring, before I did that, I went for a punch. He blocked it. He elbowed me. He judo threw me, which is a hip toss. So it was like boom. So this is from his angle of it. Boom, boom, boom. So did you understand? I threw a punch. He hit me after he blocked. So he blocks, elbows, grabs, and throws. So what that looks like is hit, boom, and boom. You know. So when he hit me, he could have back fisted me, but he didn't. He hit me, he grabbed me, he threw me over. But when he threw me over, I landed on my feet, which is something he's never seen before. We're going to chalk that up to I was a lucky motherfucker, because no one's ever really been able to hip toss me before, except for that guy, because he was a black belt. When he hip tossed me, I landed on my feet, and then I got to the position where I could use the wall against him. I ran up the wall, and I Captain America kicked him. It's just that simple. Y'all call that the Superman punch thing, but I used the kick instead of a punch. I won. And he was like, they didn't teach me that in school. I said, that was desperation. Simple as that. Now, here's some other people that I sparred that were black belts or learned martial arts, didn't learn some shit that I knew. Every martial arts school is different. That's why when you go to these schools, you learn a new style every time. You don't have to get good at it. You just have to get fairly decent so that you can use it. Gymkata had the pole technique. Go Google the movie Gymkata. He teaches the guy how to use the pole technique. Luckily for me, I also know the pole technique. I learned it from someone, but I seen it in Gymkata, which made me believe that it was real, and I've utilized it many a times. The pole technique does work. Basically what it is the obstacle within you. You have it on my YouTube channel. If you haven't, go find it. There's a technique where I am in the park using the pole and teaching you how it works. So trust me, the pole technique does work. Now you're not going to get fancy on the damn thing. You're just going to keep your pole between you and your opponent. That's why it works. If you move away from the pole, your opponent gets to use the pole away from you. And if he can keep you from using the pole against him, you guys are going to have a real rumble. So, your styles of combat is really, you want to match them as much as possible. If somebody's breaking into karate and they do the crane, you're going to do kung fu and the crane. But here's the difference maker. When you're doing the karate crane versus the kung fu crane, in kung fu, you can switch to the snake from the crane. So, crane, snake, mantis. Where karate doesn't have that. Karate has the crane. You see where we're going with that? I've done more research in kung fu than karate. Because I started off in freestyle karate. There was no forms. There was, this is how you punch. This is how you hit. This is where you hit. Sternum, throat, crotch if necessary. So you understand the situation of learning without forms versus learning with forms. This is form. Stretch out, strike. Understand. Now I screwed that up because the snake has to have the mouth. The crane, this is the crane's head, where the snake has the mouth. The crane is up, the snake is down. So you can see that. Snake, no. This is crane, this is snake. Understand? I never figured out why that worked, or either I have it in reverse, but the snake has fangs. So the crane just has a beak. That's why this is the snake and this is the crane. Understand how that works? This is the mantis. You have your talons as a mantis. You have eagle and you have mantis. Now, eagle, snake, and dragon and tiger use claw forms. And in those forms, you can gouge, you can rake, you can scrape, and mantis, you jab and you poke. So if you combine mantis with Kenpo strikes, you are hitting pressure points and joints. You know? And if you combine judo with Kenpo, you can break arms and elbows and kneecaps. So you learn certain styles to formulate your style. Alright? And then you adapt. If you're fighting someone who knows capoeira, I recommend Drunken Master. If you do not know Drunken Master, I recommend you watch them carefully with capoeira and adapt. Adapting is the best way that you can fight anybody. But for this video purpose, we're going style for style. Now, I do not know Kali, I do not know Streama, and I do not know Krav Maga. Those are three martial arts that I've never taken. However, with Kali and Streama, which are from the Philippines, I never knew they existed. I knew about Krav Maga. I seen the Jennifer Lopez movie enough, and I thought it was okay, but it wasn't something that I was really into because it's not traditional. And then there's so many people who's given Krav Maga, I can't even say this shit right, a bad name, where if you stick with the tiger, the dragon, the snake, the crane, the mantis, the eagle, you know, you kind of can feel those a little better. But most of the moves are basics. You know, block and strike, you know. And then if you got push hands, Tai Chi, Gung Fu. Gung Fu, I can't do any kicks, but they're really low kicks. You have some Gung Fu that's low kicks. You have some Gung Fu that's high kicks. You have Shaolin Kung Fu, and you have northern and southern styles of Shaolin Kung Fu. You see where we're going with that? You have so many different Chinese martial arts, and most of them were made for shorter people. So when I was sparring with the black belt, he knew karate, and he knew capoeira. Alright? So I learned capoeira from him by training with him. But I'm only good enough to fight capoeira to beat it, not to be a capoeira meister. Alright? I'm not trying to master shit. I'm trying to master staying alive. So if you're breaking into capoeira and I'm going to fight you, I'm going to either use Drunken Master. There is a Drunken Monkey, I don't know it. Okay, I know a little bit of it. But there is also the Drunken Master, and with capoeira is exceptionally fluent. So if I'm going to use anything with capoeira, Drunken Master, Wushu, and Gung Fu. You know, but certain styles of Kung Fu that have aerial shit I want to use because capoeira is an aerial fighting machine. You know, when those guys get rolling, you know, it's like, damn. You know, watch some capoeira videos. Follow Black Capoeira on Instagram. You'll see what I'm saying. These guys are fucking awesome. And when you start watching them get rolling, when they start rolling, not like BBJ or BJJ or whatever the hell you want to call Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, not that kind of rolling. When these guys get in motion, they're in motion. And as Sir Isaac Newton says, objects in motion stay in motion. Capoeira is like that. If you don't stop them at the Jenga, you might get fucked up. Simple as that. And if you can't stop them at the Jenga, then you need to match the Jenga. But the thing about fighting is that if you can avoid getting hit, which is by the grace of God, if you can avoid getting hit, then you're not going to worry. You know? But you have to understand that some styles combat other styles very well. You know? Karate really does confront standard Kung Fu, but it's not going against all of Kung Fu and Wushu and stuff like that. Now, if you're a Thai fighter, and I'm talking Muay Thai where they beat you and harden up your skin and shit like that. If you're doing that, you're damn near invincible anyway, except for elbows and knees. So if you're fighting someone who's a Thai fighter, I'm going to tell you to take out their arsenals. Elbows, forearms, and knees are the hardest parts they got. but they're also the weakest parts they got. Because this part here they beat so they don't feel a lot of pain in the gut. They don't hit them in the throat. So, you're fighting a TIE fighter, throat, elbows, and knees. Because most of the things they throw forearms, they throw elbows, and they throw knees. Which is great. Because when they're throwing knees, you can elbow them in the knee. Now, if you got a lot of strength, you're good. And hopefully you'll have more strength than they do because you don't want to break your elbow on their fucking knee. Unless you break their knee as you're breaking your elbow. Which would be a freak accident, but shit happens. But TIE fighters, they also fight really close. They keep things close to the vest. They fight close, and American kickboxing is kind of the same way. Can American kickboxing beat Taekwondo? Possibly. Can American kickboxing beat Muay Thai? I'm going to give that a big fat hell no. I mean, they can probably give them a run for their money, but when it comes to stuff like that, it would more than likely have to be the martial artist himself versus the style. The experience would have to be the thing you need versus the style itself. But when you are combating styles, the martial artist is the one you have to worry about because every style changes up per martial artist. And any teacher who doesn't teach you that probably shouldn't be teaching. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if I'm really good with Taekwondo, and no matter what I teach you, you just can't figure it out, Taekwondo is not for you. And I should pull you off to the side and say, look, Taekwondo is not the martial art that you should be taking. And you're like, why? And then I'm explaining it to you. Because as a person who has taken Taekwondo, and Taekwondo was not for me, I'm okay with it. And now that I'm old, I'm not. But, I can still go with the best of that. But when I switched to the Karate, it was the same damn shit. But the problem is, if you're all about control and control kicks, and you want to be a tournament fighter, Taekwondo is good for you. But let's say I'm teaching you Taekwondo, and just like me, you can't hold your foot in the proper position. No, not everybody's body can do that. As a teacher, I have to know that when I'm teaching you that, which is also, before I end this video, I want to close out on this. This is the reason why I say that if you are already an experienced martial artist, the teacher, no matter who they are, whether they are Sifu or Sensei, they need to know what skill level you have, and they need to teach you from there. They cannot take you back to step one in a new martial art. And I'm explaining that because when I started taking Taekwondo, I sucked at forms because all the martial arts I ever took never had forms. When Master Ennis asked me why I don't have a belt and why I don't have forms, is because every martial art that I've ever taken, ghettoly based or not, did not have forms. They had punches and kicks. That's it. They did not have forms. I didn't know shit about forms until I took Taekwondo. And I sucked at it until I got good at it. And now I'm old, so I suck at it again. But I don't suck at it as bad as I suck at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Alright? And I've taken Jiu-Jitsu. I didn't take Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu until I got in the Army. I took Judo and I took Jiu-Jitsu. I took a little bit of Aikido. And the only reason I liked Aikido was because of the fucking pants. But then I started watching all these other Aikido videos. I'm like, that's not the shit I learned. Where, the guy throws a punch and you're walking them around, and the shit Steven Seagal did was not the shit I learned. Because it's like, okay, bro, I don't remember learning that. I remember learning that front push kick, and I remember the kendo sticks, the shiites, those kind of things. I'm not really good with that, but I remember them. But as far as we're gonna walk you around and do this stuff where we're twirling you and all that, I ain't get taught that. I got taught how to fight. And the thing with that is, with the Aikido I learned that a lot of chops at certain spots. So again, pressure points work if they're applied right, and pressure points, I honestly support them. A lot of people don't. In fact, my next video will be about pressure points. It'll be a short video. Thanks for watching. This is Kung Fu Having number 2. This is 20 minutes of your life that you can't get back. Please like and subscribe. And share.